We are happy to see all of your beautiful smiling faces on this beautiful, sunny, warm day in Baltimore City. We are here for an auspicious occasion, and you will learn a little more about that. My name is Jules Dunham Howie, and I'll be the mistress of ceremonies this morning for our program. Before we go any further, we would like to start by giving thanks to the Almighty who has blessed us with this wonderful opportunity. And to do that, I'm going to ask for Bishop Frank Madison Reed III, newly elected bishop in the AME Church, former pastor of Bethel AME Church, to come forward and bring forth the invocation. Let us receive him.
Let's join hands with our neighbors, bow our heads. Almighty and everlasting God, we thank you for the beauty of this day. We thank you for the great history that is represented by this great project. We thank you now in the name of Jesus for Upton Power. We thank you for partnerships like Upton Planning Committee and the Wells Fargo Bank. We thank you for elected officials who have a vision for rebuilding our city. And now, God, before we close this prayer, we pray that you would bring peace to the streets of Baltimore. We pray now that you would send peace to the streets of our nation. Stop by right now Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Stop by Dallas, Texas. Let us stop the violence and do what Upton Power has proven possible. Rebuild broken lives and broken buildings for a great past, a great present, and a greater future. Thy name be praised. Amen.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce to some of you and to present to others the Executive Director of the Upton Planning Committee. Wanda G. Best is an amazing woman. She is committed to her community. She works hard every day to make sure that this community gets the resources that it needs to be able to grow and prosper. And it's an honor to work with her and to hold her arms up on this journey. We are thankful in the Upton community for the great work of the Upton Planning Committee that is led under her direction. Let us receive Wanda G. Best.
Oh, Wanda.
That's my boss. Good morning. I'm Wanda Best, the Executive Director of the Upton Planning Committee, and I'd like to welcome you to this historic community and this historic occasion. A few months ago, when the Upton Board of Directors decided to compete for the Wells Fargo Foundation Pilot Planning Grant, we joined efforts with many community partners, of which the core team is the Community Builders, the Empowerment and Wellness Center. We were just beginning to look at the Upton Master Plan that was developed in 2005 and felt that this was an excellent opportunity to rework the plan so that it was ready for implementation. We faced stiff competition from all over Baltimore City for this opportunity, and today we celebrate because our teamwork paid off. We look forward. Okay, that's okay. We look forward to the impact that Wells Fargo funding will make to Upton and the surrounding communities like Druid Heights, Penn North, Reservoir Hill, Holland Park, Sandtown Winchester, Bolton Hill, Madison Park, Seton Hill, and Heritage Crossing. This continues our work with another part of Wells Fargo that began years ago with the Wells Fargo Bank, led by Andy Bertamini. We worked together with the bank to create a first year-round charter school at Furman L. Templeton, where we educate and mentor over 500 students with a truly dedicated and gifted staff. We remodeled our recreation center at Robert C. Marshall, setting up community rooms with computers and game tables. We also included work days with Wells Fargo in our community garden, which provides free garden plots for over 20 gardeners. That's just a few of initiatives that we've partnered with the Wells Fargo family. Now I'd like to bring before you Mr. Denise Armbruster, Executive Director and Senior Vice President of the Wells Fargo Regional Foundation, followed by Mr. Andy Bertamini, Maryland Regional President of Wells Fargo, to make the big announcement. Thank you.
And good morning, everyone, and thank you, Wanda. As she said, my name is Denise McGregor Armbruster, and I have the privilege and the pleasure of serving as the Executive Director of the Wells Fargo Regional Foundation. I am so very excited to be here this morning all the way from Philadelphia to celebrate this very special day with all of you. Now, most of you are probably unfamiliar with the Wells Fargo Regional Foundation. We are actually a private foundation with an affiliation to Wells Fargo. And for the past 15 years, we have been focusing all of our resources on the revitalization of neighborhoods in eastern Pennsylvania, Delaware, and in the state of New Jersey. We truly, truly believe that neighborhood change begins in the hearts and the minds of the residents of a community. That is why we work diligently to ensure community members have a voice at the table when a community visioning is being developed. We've had the privilege of partnering with some 50 neighborhoods throughout Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware, and they have been at the forefront of developing innovative solutions to community challenges. By implementing strategies that range anywhere from using the arts as an economic engine or leading with youth empowerment and engagement to spur community growth. Each neighborhood has paved their own unique path to developing a strong and thriving community. Now, about a year ago, we were asked by Wells Fargo to replicate our neighborhood grants program outside of our region in a pilot basis. Our local partners here on the ground in Baltimore, including Monica Mitchell, our Community Development Officer, as well as our partner here, also Anna Bard, who represents the Wells Fargo Foundation in this area, and certainly Andy Bertamini, our local regional president. They really, really, really fought hard to ensure that this would be one of the 3 cities we would partner with new neighborhoods to bring community visions to pass. So today, I'm happy to introduce the local regional president for Maryland, Andy Bertamini, who has that very special announcement that everyone's waiting for.
So thank you, Denise, and I am so happy to be here this morning. Good things happen in West Baltimore, and good things happen in Upton. And Wanda, thank you for the hard work and your leadership, as well as the board. I saw Daryl, a number of the board members, for competing for this grant. You know, it all starts with a vision. And from a vision, it has to move to a plan. Now, in order for a plan to happen, it takes a lot of work, a lot of collaboration, but it also takes some money. So before I invite Rob from Community Builders and Wanda up, I want to just say to the community, it also takes you. And so I appeal to you to get involved. If it's from a survey, one of the committees, work with the Upton Planning Group as well as the community builders to help bring this plan to reality. So now I want to thank both community builders, the leading partner with Upton Planning, and I mentioned it takes money. But what I'm pleased to announce today is that Wells Fargo is going to help through this grant program with $100,000 to community builders and Upton Planning to bring this plan to fruition. So I'd like to invite Rob and the group and Wanda up. We want to do big things, so I brought a big check.
We gotta add another zero.
That could come.
That's down.
Right here in this camera, right in this camera. That's for me. Right here, look right here.
Oh, right there, okay.
At me, please. Please. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Okay.
One more, one
Oh,
more.
one more. You gotta get Denise.
Okay. Yeah, I'm.
We'll do a group one afterwards, okay?
Yeah.
And we'll do a group one afterwards as well.
Yeah. So.
Wanda, I'm gonna turn it back over to you.
Exciting! Woo! All right. I like big checks too. So, at this point in time, we're going to hear from the leader of our city, none other than the Honorable Stephanie Rollins Blake, who is the mayor of the city of Baltimore. And she has come to share in this auspicious occasion with us. Let us receive her at this time.
Thank you so much, and good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is my pleasure to be with you today. I am so deeply proud of what today means for Baltimore. I want to thank Wells Fargo for believing and investing in the potential of our neighborhoods. And I'm grateful because I know this isn't the first time that Wells Fargo has made a significant investment. And Mr. Darrell, it won't be the last time they make a significant investment. 2 city communities will benefit from the Wells Fargo Foundation pilot planning grant, and that's Upton and Central Baltimore. In Upton specifically, the investment is the first steps towards creating an evidence-based strategic plan, development plan to leverage the beautiful community assets that reside here and to think through ways of enhancing the quality of life for those who have called this community home. In 2005, the city funded a planning process to begin convening resources and partners to develop a regional master plan. Development in Baltimore's West Side remains a top priority, and the evidence-based approaches that you have seen the value of throughout my administration will continue to mobilize our aspirations into tangible action. With the support of Wells Fargo, the Upton Planning Committee will revisit the findings from the 2005 study and conduct a data analysis of current housing statistics, area demographics, and crime statistics to develop a blueprint for community-centered development. Community development as we know it is a process, and I'm thankful for the tremendous leadership exercised by the resident leaders and our institutional partners. Time and time again, we have seen great things happen when the community sits at the table with our business partners, with our corporate partners in the city. I got to stand in the heat with some of you last week as Sagamore Development announced its plan with the South Baltimore 6 communities, and I think that will be a blueprint for how communities come together to encourage inclusive development, and I think that this is also in that tradition. So I want to thank Councilman Eric Costello, Wanda Best, Denise Greger Armbruster, Andy Bertamini, Rob Fossey, Jules Howie, all of you who have contributed to making today's announcement possible. Thank you. And again, thank you to Wells Fargo for building upon the strengths of our communities like Upton. Years from now, we will have the benefit of looking back at this moment as a pivotal decision that transformed the trajectory of this community. Thank you so very much. And I'd like to bring up, if it's okay to do your job for a second, I'd like to bring up Councilman Eric Costello.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Madam Mayor. Your leadership in helping to transform Central West Baltimore is obviously very evident. I'm blessed to be able to represent Upton, one of the most historically significant neighborhoods in the entire city of Baltimore. Really second to none when it comes to history in our city. I heard Wanda and Darrell mentioned, but when you're talking about that history, I think it's also important to talk about the present, and the strong community leadership that we have in and around the Upton neighborhood, whether it's Mr. Hill, with McCullough Homes Resident Council, Roscoe Johnson up at Druid Heights and the great work they're doing up there. I saw Richard May floating around and the work that they're doing with Innovation Village on North Avenue, Jim Hamlin from the bakery. There's a number of folks that are working really hard to help improve Upton and the surrounding communities. I'm really excited about this, what this means for the Upton community in terms of the master planning process. We've got fantastic partners, whether it's the community builders, Wells Fargo, Bethel AME, our own housing and community development. HCD has played a tremendous role in helping to uplift Upton. Innovation Village, I think I saw Henriette from Promise Heights floating around. So with that, I want to thank you, Denise and Andy, for your generosity and what this will mean for the future of Upton. I believe Harry Spikes from Congressman Cummings' office is here. I know that the congressman wasn't able to attend, but Harry. And with that, I'd like to introduce Crystal Boykins from Cutie on Duty, who's a recent benefactor of some of Wells Fargo's philanthropy in Baltimore City. Crystal.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Crystal Boykins again, and this is my sister, Myra Boykins, and we are the owners of Cuties on Duty, which is located inside of the Avenue Market. Recently, we were granted an award of $10,000 for renovations from Wells Fargo, and we're excited about that. Yes. We were born and raised in this community, and so we just want to thank you right now for the resources that you're bringing constantly into this neighborhood. And so, on that note, we want to say thanks again, and we're so grateful. Oh, I'm sorry. Cuties on Duty sells women accessories. We sell T-shirts, hats, jewelry. We're working on the men. We have body oil, burning oils, perfumes, colognes. So stop by and see us. Hair. We have a whole bunch of stuff. Whatever you're buying, we selling.
And whatever you do, keep it cute. Give them a hand. Isn't that wonderful? And that's actually why we're so excited to be in partnership with Wells Fargo, because part of this planning process, you know, when you hear planning process, a lot of people go, oh, that means nothing's going to happen. But that's not the case. And that's the reason why we had Cutie on Duty come today, because the plan is going to happen, but while the planning is happening, so is work. So is development, so is redevelopment, so is investment. And so it's a cumulative process. And we wanted you to know that, yes, we're going to plan, and we're going to plan well, but we're also going to be doing while we're planning. And so you can see part of what's happening. There's already an investment and a reinvestment in the Pennsylvania Avenue market. And we're excited about that reinvestment. This is, we believe, the beginning. The toe is in the water. But the ripple effect has started, and we know more resources are going to come to actually help us redevelop Pennsylvania Avenue Market. We're excited about that. Now, we'd be remiss. We're talking about a planning process, and planning falls underneath the auspices of DHCD, the Department of Housing and Community Development in Baltimore City. And we happen to have with us this morning none other than the Commissioner, Paul T. Graziano. And I would like to ask him to come forward and be able to say something about this great moment today. Let us receive Commissioner Graziano.
Thank you very much for your kind introduction on this lovely morning, and I thank God for that tree there, Bishop. And I hope that you out there are not too much in the sun, but the sun is a beautiful thing, though. In any event, this is a beautiful day and an extremely important day, because we are building upon planning processes that have been underway and sort of completed at different points, stop, start. And I remember, Wanda, some of the work we did a few years back, meeting on those Saturday mornings with the planning process related to the choice program, and that brought all the communities you mentioned together as well. And we've had a number of meetings in my office with the Upton Planning Committee folks in recent weeks and months. But what we really need to tie it all together is the kind of effort that this grant will fund, and to take a lot of vision and a lot of a wonderful commitment and boil it down to a plan, an actionable plan. And so I'm very, very thankful to Wells Fargo, Denise and Andy. I want to thank you both, and for your efforts here, and of course in Central West Baltimore, in the Central Baltimore as well. I'm very excited about what we have here in terms of a base to build upon. We've got obviously very committed community folks, and that's really, really, really critical. I know the mayor knows that. I know that we must have community participation, and without it, we can't do it alone. We certainly cannot do it alone, and we have it here. So I want to thank all the folks who have, for years, been working together to get to this day. I want to say that we, beyond just what's theoretical, we have things already in the pipeline. And I know Rob Fossey is here, and he's going to speak, and I'm not going to steal his thunder, but I'm very excited about the commitment that the Community Builders has made to this community as well. And they are a nationally renowned organization with a mission that matches up perfectly with what we're trying to do here. So I'm not going to talk about your project, but I'm very excited that you're here, Rob. I also know that we are working with a number of other partners. I see Roscoe Johnson out there. I'm very excited to get together and move to the next phase of the home ownership project in Druid Heights, the Baker's View project. So there are a lot of pieces here. We continue, I know Julie Day is here from my staff, we continue, and Wendy, to, under the Mayor's Vacants to Value program, to both do strategic demolition and assembly of land and disposition for redevelopment. So there's a lot of different efforts going on here. Harry, I want to thank you and the Congressman for tremendous support here in this community, and Councilman Costello has been a terrific partner as well. And of course, I mentioned the mayor, but the mayor's been an absolutely wonderful partner and a leader, and someone who has really enabled us to move the ball down the field. So, Mayor, I want to thank you here again for your tremendous leadership. So many other partners, but it's a hot day, and I'm going to sit down. But I want to say that this is the beginning of a very, very exciting next chapter, which will get us to where we want to be with all the efforts and all the resources that are now put forth. And with God's help, we will get to where we need to be. So thank you all for being here on this hot day. Take care.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that, Paul. So now I'm going to ask for the lead partner in this initiative to come forward and speak, and that's Rob Fossey from the Community Builders. And they are the lead in terms of the ones who will be doing all of the reporting to Wells Fargo and who will be making sure that all of our deliverables are in on time and that we do what we said we are going to do. And we are grateful to actually have their leadership and their partnership on this initiative, on this effort, because as you'll see, they are quickly going to become a major player in community development in Upton. And so he'll be able to share with you some of the upcoming projects in the portfolio of the Community Builders, which will be a long-term community partner here in Upton. Let us receive Rob Fossey at this time.
Thank you, Jules. And I will say up front that I'm one of the last things between everyone and the possibility of air conditioning, so I'll be brief. I'll bring brief thunder. We are very happy to be here today partnering with UPC, the Empowerment Center, and to have received the endorsement and the faith of Wells Fargo Foundation. And we will be sure to turn that into the most productive and profound investment that you make in this engagement, because the partners that are involved here have been at this for quite a while, and as Bishop and others have mentioned, this is a very proud community with a tremendous history, and the circumstances which have caused it to suffer a decline can be reversed when investment and talent and goodwill come together like they are today, and we are delighted to be a part of that partnership, as we are with Mr. Hill and the McCullough residents and HABC in the impending renovation of McCullough Extension, which we are confident will be underway within a matter of months, if not sooner, and with the residents of Pedestal Gardens and the renovation process underway there, some of which you can see in the poster boards we have, and as Jules mentioned, we will do so in every occasion with local partners, and we will be a good neighbor that you will be proud has come to Central West Baltimore and Baltimore in general, and we thank you for that opportunity.
Hasn't this been an awesome program? Hasn't this been a great experience? I don't know about you, but I'm excited for the future for Upton. And that's what today is about. It's about creating a buzz, creating excitement, helping people understand that great things, not good things, but great things are happening in this community called Upton. So as we bring this to a close, we are grateful for everyone who took time out of their schedule to be with us today. We are tremendously grateful for the mayor making room for Upton on her calendar. We're grateful for Wells Fargo making room on their calendar to come and tell us about this great experience. We are grateful for the Upton Planning Committee making room to be able to say, we're going to take on this work. We're going to do the work that we know can build this community. We are grateful for the Empowerment and Wellness Center that said it's about empowering our community with real resources and assets. We are grateful for each and every one of you that came out today, that pressed in the hot sun to say, we know there's a word and an announcement. We're not quite sure what it is, but we got to be in the number to see what's happening in our community. So we say thank you. We ask for you to look at the program. We ask you to see our timeline. We ask for you to understand that this isn't a work that happens overnight. We're going to be toiling and working over the next 14 to 18 months to get a plan that each and every one of you will be proud of, to say that this is the new future of Upton. This is where we want to go and grow. This is what we want our community to look like. And we just say thank you for being with us. Thank you for joining the journey. Thank you for speaking life and not death.